We all know the image of the Spartan warrior, right? Bronze helmet, red cape, the ultimate symbol of military discipline. But that's the legend. Behind that myth is a reality that is just unbelievably brutal. So, what if this wasn't just a story you heard? What if this was your life?
Seriously, let's dive into this. For the next few minutes, you're not just going to learn about Sparta. You are a Spartan. We're going to walk through your entire life, right from your very first breath. And the big question is, could you actually make it through? All right, let's begin. Your life doesn't start with a warm welcome. It starts with a judgment. From the moment you're born into this world, your first test is for the right to even live.
Now, the very first thing you have to get your head around is this. You are not your own. You don't belong to your mom and dad. From the second you're born, your life, your body, your entire future, it all belongs to the state of Sparta. You're an asset, and your value is about to be measured. And they don't waste any time. The process is just as cold and pragmatic as it sounds. Right after you're born, your father takes you to a council of elders. They look you over, checking for any weakness, any physical defect. If they think you're strong and healthy, okay, you get to live. If not, you're left on a hellside to die. Your life literally begins with a pass-fail exam. So, you passed the first test. Congratulations. But don't get comfortable, because the trials are just getting started. Now your life is about to be forged in the agoge, the brutal system that turns a boy into a Spartan warrior. The agoge. You need to remember this word. It's not just school, it's not just military training, it's a complete indoctrination, and its whole purpose is to strip away your individual identity and rebuild you from the ground up as a soldier. And your path is completely laid out for you. At just 7 years old, you're taken from your mother, you're moved into a barracks with a bunch of other boys. By age 12, things get way, way harder. You're given barely any food or clothing, and you're actually taught to steal to survive. The only rule? Don't get caught. You won't even officially join the army until you're 20, and get this, you're not even a full citizen with the right to vote until you hit 30. So you have to be asking yourself, why? I mean, why would a society put its own children through this relentless, systematic cruelty? What could possibly be the point of it all? Well, here's the cold, hard answer. It was never about making you strong. It was about destroying the individual you. The whole goal of the agoge was to erase your personality, your fears, your hopes, and replace it all with just one thing: loyalty to the group. Sparta wasn't building soldiers, it was forging a single living weapon. And when you look at it this way, you can see how every brutal lesson had a specific goal. The constant, harsh discipline, that creates unquestioning obedience. The ritual beatings, that builds an insane pain tolerance. Starving you, that teaches you cunning and stealth. It is a complete psychological teardown and rebuild, all to make you the perfect cog in the Spartan war machine. Okay, so somehow you've survived the agage. You're a man now, but life doesn't get easier, not at all. Welcome to your daily life as a warrior. And your new routine? It's pretty simple. Eat, train, fight, and then do it all over again. A huge part of your adult life is something called the Syssitia. Now, this is your communal dining hall, but it is so much more than that. You will eat every single meal, every single day, with the same group of about 15 men. This constant contact is designed to make the bonds between you absolutely unbreakable. And make no mistake about it, even if you get married later on, the barracks is your home. These men you eat with, train with, and fight with, they are your true family. Your loyalty is to them and to Sparta, above anyone else, including a wife or your own kids. And this whole warrior-first mentality, it wasn't just for the men. It was everywhere. It soaked into every part of the culture. I mean, this famous line, supposedly said by Spartan mothers to their sons heading off to war, says it all. Victory or death, those are your only two options. Coming back in disgrace, unthinkable.
But life wasn't just the barracks. And this is where things get really interesting, because the roles of marriage and women were probably not what you'd expect from a society this focused on hypermasculine warriors.
So for you, as a Spartan man, getting married isn't about love or romance. Forget that. It's your civic duty. Your whole purpose is to pair up with a strong woman and produce the next generation of soldiers for the state. You'll actually keep living in the barracks until you're 30 and just sneak out at night to visit your wife. And this is where your jaw might just hit the floor.
Because compared to other women in ancient Greece, like in Athens, Spartan women had a shocking amount of freedom. They were formally educated, they competed in sports, they could own land. So why? It was all for the good of the state, of course. Sparta figured it needed strong, smart mothers to produce strong, smart sons.
So there you have it. That was your life. A relentless, brutal journey from an infant being judged for worthiness to a hardened soldier of the state. So now we have to ask, what was the price of all this glory? It's time to weigh the legacy against the unbelievable human cost. When you boil it all down, the Spartan way was a total system. Every single part of your life was engineered for one thing and one thing only: military perfection. Individuality wasn't just frowned upon, it was actively stamped out for the good of the group. And you know what? It worked. It created the most feared fighting force in the ancient world. And that leaves us with the big, kind of haunting question, doesn't it? In creating the perfect soldier, Sparta basically sacrificed everything else: art, personal freedom, the individual spirit. They achieved legendary military status, sure, but look at what it cost. So, was it worth it? They created a nation of perfect soldiers, but was it anything close to a perfect society?